As the Marxist unions responsible for dangerous strikes by nurses today and ambulance workers tomorrow inexcusably put British lives at risk, Rishi Sunak is staring down the hard-left fanatics. Like Thatcher and the miners in the mid-80s, the former Chancellor is insistent that above-inflation public sector pay hikes, like the 19% being demanded by the RCN, would lead to an inflationary death cycle. Asked by the Daily Mail in a rare interview if the UK is equipped to deal with months of coordinated strike action, Sunak channeled his inner lion lady to respond unequivocally. So this is what he said. He said, yes, look, I'm going to make the same arguments I've been making. And today he continued to talk tough during his first appearance in front of MPs at the Liaison Committee.
It's difficult for everybody because inflation is where it is, and the best way to help them and to help everyone else in the country is for us to get a grip and reduce inflation as quickly as possible. And we need to make sure that the decisions that we make can bring about that outcome. Because if we get it wrong and we're still dealing with high inflation in a year's time, that's not going to help anybody. And that's why having an independent pay process is an important part of us making those decisions and getting them correct. And that's why we've accepted those recommendations in full.
Sunak hints pay increases are possible for the next financial year, but not now. Not now as inflation peaks. It's a tough message, but the responsible one for our economy. That said, how the hell did we get here in the first place, given the last Conservative election manifesto pledged to get tough on militant unions, insisting on minimum service levels across essential areas? Instead, as heart attack victims might shamefully have to make their own way to A&E tomorrow, an NHS ambulance chief anonymously told the Times newspaper, the best we can hope for is that everyone stays indoors, no one falls over, no one gets ill, and no one has a car crash. I cannot for the life of me understand why the police are banned from striking, but NHS staff are not. And it's unfathomable that in 2022 Britain, a government health minister is asking us to avoid dangerous activities, as Will Quince did this morning.
Will be disruption to service, and it is important that where people are planning any risky activity, I would strongly encourage them not to do so, because there will be disruption on the day.
Risky activity? Like what? Leaving the house? Going Christmas shopping, driving to work? I mean, the RMT rail strikes have already seen many of our biggest cities resemble ghost towns. So shame on the unions, who are encouraging the third Christmas lockdown by stealth following 2 years of hysterical COVID lockdown misery that put us in this perilous financial situation in the first place. But let's remember for a moment that Labour and the unions were never calling for the economy to be opened up, allowing us all to get back to work and the economy to avoid terminal decline. Nope. They were the Bane mob, branding folk like me who oppose lockdowns granny killers and calling for harder and longer restrictions to be implemented. This is where we've ended up as a result. It's where the hard-left unions who back Labour to the tune of millions and millions of pounds a year always wanted us. They believe that chaos and carnage caused by a new winter of discontent and, yes, deaths, thanks to this general strike by stealth, will see the Tories forced from office. But I hope and believe that Brits are more sensible and don't want a Labour government in power by 2023 that is controlled by union barons.